Surprise. Welcome to another edition of Songwriters in the Round. My name is Julie Doherty, and I am joined by some wonderful creative talent here today. We have Larry Young on fiddle today, and we have Mason Daring, so honored to have you here. And Bob Franke, honored to have you here too. Your second time on Songwriters in the Round.
That's right. I enjoyed it so much I decided to come back.
And Woody Woodward on bass. And I don't know, I just have so many questions to ask the both of you. I'm so happy to have you both on. You're both so well regarded and well known in this area. You've been in music in this area of the country, and I know worldwide as well your music is known. But for how many years have you been playing, Mason, do you think?
First song I ever learned was Greenback Dollar by the Kingston
Kingston
Trio.
Trio, oh my goodness.
See, how many presidents ago was that, Bob? That was, I think Buchanan was president then. I'm not sure.
You count Gerald Ford? Or?
No, not usually. Yeah, that would have been early 60s, I think, somewhere around there.
And was it in the 60s that you were singing on the streets of Boston? Is that when you started?
Actually, no. In the 60s, I was singing in the hallways of Cass Technical High School in Detroit, actually.
Oh!
And on the buses of the Detroit Street Railway.
So when did you come to Boston?
Came to Boston in 1969.
Oh.
And it was in the mid-'70s that I took this National Steel guitar and took it onto the Boston Common.
Yeah.
There's a magic spot there between the down kiosk and the up kiosk, sort of, right where all the foot traffic is, and made my living that way for a number of years, sir.
Yes, well, you were very well known as a street performer in Boston. Now, when did you two meet? Because I know that you've collaborated in recent years.
Well, I used to be a big fan of this Love Can't Be Bitter. Bob, his first album, was it your first album?
Love Can't Be Bitter All the Time?
And I just thought that song blew me away, and I never forgot it.
That was in 1975.
10, 15 years, I had that album, and I would listen to it from time to time. And then when I started a record company, I was looking for talent, couldn't find any, so I went to Bob and decided.
Aren't you awful?
That was the next best thing.
I wanted to, actually somebody around her said, geez, you ought to do an album with Bob Franke. And I thought, Love Can't Be Bitter, excellent idea. And,
now, were you singing with Jeannie Stahl at that time?
that was actually after I'd stopped singing with Jeannie. That was just about 5 years ago, something like that, and we collaborated on an album of his, and he's just finished a second album.
Yeah, I know.
For my
It's
label.
over at your studio in
Yeah,
Marblehead.
right.
Why don't we do a song from that era when you were singing with Jeannie
Sure.
Stahl? And this was quite a hit for you.
This is my folk hit. This is, I won't make bad jokes about that, but I wrote this song. I was singing with a guy named John Paul Jones in college in Western Mass, and I wrote it for two guys. It was down on the landing, a deckhand would sing, and the second part was down an octave. He had a real deep, it would be, fair is my woman, and I love to tell her so, heave away, haul away. And then I stopped singing with John. I came east here to go to law school, actually, and I met up with Jeannie, started playing with her.
Law school?
And, I went to law school. And we don't have to get into my murky past.
I don't think we have enough time to talk about your whole life.
That's why you can see my picture on the post office wall, I think, Once practiced law. And I met up with Jeannie then, and Jeannie's bass was horrible. She just couldn't sing down there to save her life, So I put it up an octave, actually, and changed the gender. And it was a much better song.
Perfect.
About 5 years after I wrote it, it became a much better song. By doing it that way.
It's a little-known history of that song.
Yeah,
People are going to be thrilled to learn that.
So you can actually change a song years after you write it for the better, and it was just better as a man-woman duet. It's a Marblehead morning, colored cobblestone gray, coming on strong, a New England day. The harbor's a forest of tall sailing trees, getting ready to bloom on that mid-morning breeze. And farewell, my good Joe, now. Well, how I wish I could stay. Goodbye, first love of mine. Look for myself on the first day of May. sister said, on a day such as this, the widow walks curtained with soft weeping mist. Upon the common, a church chime would ring. Down at the landing, the maiden would sing.
There is my captain, I love to tell him so. Haul away, heave away, he's going to sail away. Good times are passing by, high tide is roaring nigh. Haul away, heave away, he's going to leave today.
And
There is my
farewell, my
I
good
love to
Joe.
tell him so.
Well,
Haul away,
I wish
heave
I
away,
could stay.
he's going to sail away. Good times are passing by, high tide is drawing nigh. Haul
Oh,
away,
my
heave
sin
away,
on the
he's
first
going to
day
leave today.
$200 of going to sea. Marblehead men leave their families to keep. Close watch upon that fine line between the blue of the sky and the green of the sea.
There is my captain,
My good
I
Joe,
love to
now,
tell him so.
well,
Haul
how
away,
I
heave
wish
away,
I could stay.
he's going to sail away.
And
good times are
goodbye,
passing by,
first
high
love of
tide is
mine.
drawing nigh.
Look
Haul
for
away, heave
myself
away,
on the
he's going to
first day
leave today.
Well, it's a marblehead morning. It's colored cobblestone gray. And as long as I'm gone, well, I'll remember today.
Long as I'm gone, I will remember. As
Today.
long as I'm gone, I will remember.
Today.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm honored that I got to sing it. That's a beautiful
Great.
song. I want to turn our attention over to Bob Franke. You've been singing around here for so many years, and you've traveled quite a bit, too. How many albums have you recorded, Bob?
Oh, I was afraid you were going to ask that. Oh, I don't know, 6 or 7 or something like that. I
Really?
don't know. Or perhaps I'm exaggerating. You can never tell with musicians, you know. Maybe it only feels like 6 or 7, you know.
And you're in the middle of recording a new album.
I am, actually. We have recorded it. It'll be mastered in a few days now, and I'm really looking forward to its release. It's called Long Roads, Short Visits.
Oh, nice title.
And
Now,
once
I know, Mason, that you produced Bob's last album, The Heart of the Fall.
The one before that, this one Bob did with Nina Gerber,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a beautiful album. Very.
Yeah.
This one's more acoustic than that. We went back to
Right.
back to an acoustic sound from this one.
Well, let's hear a song from this.
Sure.
And what is this one called?
This is called The Roads Are Long in Canada. The roads are long in Canada. You're driving through the night. You're washed in prairie moon and stars. You're bathing in their light. And if God in her heaven seems so far away, well, at least you're assured that you're headed for day, and you're headed for someone who's asked you to stay, and it's right. It took a night in Canada to recognize your soul, to heal some dark and hollow times with clarity and cold. For the deals that you made left you bitter and sick, and so trapped in that place where it happened so quick, and so lost without moving, you knew that the trick was to go. Racing a distant horizon, you learn what it means to be small, leaving your plans for an empire. You finally hear your heart's call. A silver night in Canada was what you needed most, to show you that your spirit was more than just a ghost. And it's not just the stars, and it's not just the moon, but your car's little engine will get you there soon. And though all of this distance maroons you wherever you roam, you're on your way home. And it's not just the stars, and it's not just the moon, but your car's little engine will get you there soon. And though all of this distance maroons you wherever you roam, you're on your way home.
Great song. And that's on your new album.
Thank you.
And you're recording that at Mason Studio. You've made quite a change musically from singing folk songs with Jeannie Stahl to writing scores for, I think we have a list of 28 or so movies that you've written.
That's a depressing, that's probably an uplifting number.
Where
right?
did the road turn, and how did that change come about in your life?
Well, you know, the first one's your hardest one to get, and I did a movie with John Sayles long, long ago called Return to Secaucus 7, and after I did that, that was about when I decided I was also his lawyer on that movie.
Isn't that interesting?
And then I didn't want to be a lawyer anymore, believe me. And then I just started getting more. I was doing a lot of album production at that time too, and I sort of gradually just by the time I'd done Matewan, his fourth or fifth film, I'd done a few movies for other people. I had 8 or 9 films, and then an agency approached me. And once you kind of get inside that loop, you know,
Isn't that wonderful?
then the phone starts ringing, and now it's you know, they look for a niche. I mean, I'm not likely to do Lost World 3. You know, it's not what I do. I do a lot of orchestral stuff. It is funny that I started as a folk singer. I also played trumpet and studied classical music.
So the theory is something that you're very familiar with.
Yeah, that's right. And I just started writing a lot of orchestral stuff, and now I tend to do about half orchestral and half either jazz, blues, pop scores. I do a lot of rock and blues.
Is it a
scores.
real departure, writing, it's original music that you're writing, is it a real departure to write music for a story than it is to sit down and write a story yourself in a song?
Yeah, it is. Oddly enough, I mean, you get into a thing. I haven't written any music without a deadline and a movie, and way too long. I'm actually considering. I tried to take some time off last fall to write a musical because there's something I want to do that some other people are interested in. I have some support from people in doing it. But then the phone rings. Somebody says, "Gee, here's a movie." Because it's great fun. They give you a movie, and it's not that you don't have to think, but if it's a halfway decent film, you know what it's supposed to say, and I find without a movie, I don't have a whole lot of ideas. Now, in the musical, I have to make the movie up in my head, make this, like you said, make
Right.
the story up yourself,
Yeah.
then write the music for it.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a lazy way of writing, but it's, but they do give you the story, and you sit there scene by scene, cue by cue. And
Do they give you a lot of freedom as to what type of instrumentation you use? I mean, do they just say, go ahead
I
and...
tend to get quite a bit. Sometimes they
that's
tell me
great.
I tend to. They usually ask me what I'm interested in. I mean, a lot of it's about getting the jobs in Hollywood, you know.
Well, we just
talking to
watched The Secret of Roan Inish, and we'd seen that about a year ago, and Lone Star, and just so many movies that you've done. And also some TV programs. I know you've done some things for PBS. And
Yeah, I do.
Warner.
I still try to keep my hand in on
great.
those as much as I can. I just did a Frontline just last week, and I like to do some documentaries every year. I just think I like public television, and whenever I can afford to, you know, I like to break away for a few days and do those. I tend to do a lot of Disney cable movies and things like that.
So you have to travel quite a bit, too, in your work.
I do. I don't travel as much as I used to. I actually have an apartment in Los Angeles, and I've been there 6 nights in the last year. I really don't go very much anymore. You don't have to as much as you used to.
Yeah, well, you know, it was going to bring up another subject I was going to talk about, the internet, but also starting a little bit backward, that we went to the Saunders Theater concert that you produced and put on with
that
Bob.
I played on for you?
Yeah.
That was a heck of a show.
And you had Paul Stuckey and Tom Paxton, and is it true, did you meet Paul Stuckey on the internet, or had you known him before that?
It's true. I met him on the internet.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exciting. I mean, the world is your oyster with the internet, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah.
Bob's an internet kind of guy.
Yeah, aren't you?
Bob's cyber folk.
Now, you've done quite a bit of traveling in your many years of singing.
I have.
Name some places that you've played around the country.
Well, I've been, you know, I've been to the San Francisco Bay Area, up to the Pacific Northwest. I'll be actually doing a lot of teaching this summer.
Oh, wonderful.
Teaching songwriting. I'll be
Locally,
doing.
I hope.
Actually, as close as Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire for the 91.9 Acoustic Music Week up there in August.
Oh, great.
And, you know, I'll be down in North Carolina teaching. I'll be playing at the Philadelphia Festival this year, apparently.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been to England a couple of times, too.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fun.
Do your albums sell well over, do you find that they sell as well or better in Europe, or is it about the same?
Well, about the
the
same, you know, which is sort of like par for folk music, I think, you
Yeah.
know. It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think it's wonderful that you both live on the North Shore, and you're two of the brightest stars, I would think, of the North Shore. I mean, everybody's very proud of you to have you as residents, and
I think of myself as a flaming meteorite. What do you think?
oh no! But you know what? Let's do another song. Can we go back, way back, and do a song from that first album?
Yeah, we'll
Of
do
yours.
Shiloh. Do Shiloh. Let's see. This is we are having a good day here because my guitar's stayed in tune.
Isn't that wonderful?
Inexplicably against all rules of nature. I drifted away over rivers and over the sea. I drifted away over you. I'm carried away by memories of old melodies, melodies and memories of you. Lost in laughter of every morning after, lost in the memory of you. Shiloh, I'm coming home. I can hear your night wind moaning Shiloh. I can't leave it alone. After all we've been through, Shiloh, I'm coming home. I drifted away on the wings of changes. I drifted away over you. Changes in seasons, but never changes in reason. We're drifting right back home to you. Shiloh, I'm coming home. Well, I can hear your night wind moaning Shiloh. I can't leave it alone. After all we've been through, Shiloh, I'm coming, Shiloh. I'm coming home. Well, I can hear your night wind moaning Shiloh. I can't leave it alone. After all we've been through, Shiloh, I'm coming home.
Wow, that's a great song. You really are emotional when you sing. I mean, you can just see your feelings
Good.
right out there, hanging
Good, I
right
like
out
that.
there. And I bet you put that same kind of gusto and zeal into all of your music work.
Sometimes you're chopping wood, frankly. You're digging
Yeah.
trenches, and you're just thinking, "Get this cue done," you know. Because sometimes if you do that, it takes, you're a songwriter. You put something out there if you're going to write something, and then you do it, and the director goes, "Nah." You think, "What do you mean, no? That's art. That's great."
But you're still
My
as
life is in that.
enthusiastic. I mean, you haven't lost that.
Not yet.
You haven't taken on the veneer. And,
Not
I
yet.
mean,
It is great. There are times when, I wrote a couple of cues this week for a film, and I really liked them. I thought they sounded, they had some beauty in them, and I'm a pretty simple writer. I'm not a real complex, this was all orchestra. I'm not a real complex orchestral writer, but no, you can get I still get a thrill. I like that.
yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
I tell you, I never had more fun working in a studio than working with
Yeah, we had a
Jason
ball.
and Dave.
Is
We had a
that
ball.
right?
We had a ball. That's right, and that's why I like to. Daddy, can I have a real studio next time?
Yeah,
I'm trying to build a new,
yes.
bigger studio.
See, now, when you get your new studio, I want to come down.
Hey, I want the world to come down when I build my new studio.
Well, let's turn our attention back to you, Bob, and hear another song from your new recording. When do you think this one will be released?
I believe the street date is September 9th.
Oh, wonderful. And this is on Rounder Records.
It's on
Actually,
the Daring.
Daring.
Daring Records, which
It's
is
on
which is a
Daring.
division of Rounder.
Oh,
if you
isn't
will.
that great?
Nationally, in NDL they call it a Rounder.
This is a song that I must have written back in 1989 or something like that, and just sort of dug up out of the drawer. It's called "There's a Last Time for Everything." One, two, one, two. There's a last time for everything. There's a last time for everything. There's a last time for everything. Baby, goodbye. Baby, goodbye. I remember when you looked at me with a look as cold could be. There was nothing I could really see. Baby, goodbye. baby, goodbye. There's a last time for everything. There's a last time for everything. There's a last time for everything. Baby, goodbye. Baby, goodbye. It's been too long since you called my name. It's been too long since you fanned the flame. It's been too long, things have stayed the same. Baby, goodbye. Baby, goodbye. There's a last time for everything. There's a last time for everything. There's a last time for everything. Baby, goodbye. Baby, goodbye. Well, I guess I shouldn't hang around while you dream about the love you found. Time to put my feet on solid ground. Baby, goodbye. Baby, goodbye. There's a last time for everything. There's a last time for everything. There's a last time for everything. Baby, goodbye. Baby, goodbye.
Great song. Well, you write a lot of blues stuff, and you play the blues so well.
Thank you.
Now, that's a National Steel, correct?
That's a National Steel guitar, yes.
And that's an old one, I can tell.
It is.
Either that or it's been through the mill.
Late 20s, apparently,
Oh,
it was
wow.
created there. And I found this National Steel guitar back in the mid-'70s, around 1975 or so, in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Huh.
It's a wonderful, wonderful instrument. I found it in Grand Rapids, traded a 12-string guitar I had bought for $125 from a woman in Topsfield, Massachusetts. I traded the 12-string guitar for this National Steel guitar.
Oh, I hope she's not watching this show.
And never looked back, and I
Sounds good.
immediately took it back to the Boston Common, which is the reason I could make a living, basically. It's just a wonderful, wonderful
is.
street guitar. You can make actual music from it occasionally, and
It looks like it might have been left out in some poor weather conditions, however.
well, yes, it was actually totally reconditioned when I bought it, and then I just sort of beat it up again, basically.
It sounds great.
I heard you sing with your sister
Uh-oh.
20 years ago. I can't remember where we were. It was actually the same gig, but different rooms. It was at some convention or
No
yeah,
kidding.
something. And you guys
that's
did
why I've never
a
heard
killer
from you.
version of Simon and Garfunkel tune. I
Oh,
remember.
probably.
You did a couple of them, as I recall.
Yes, we did all of them, as I recall.
Perfect harmony. Absolutely perfect harmonies. Never forgot that.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Well, we're going to do one more song, and this is one that I just recently wrote, and it's called A Feeling of Home. 2, 3. Home is the place at the long journey's end, preserver of dreams and a place to mend our wounds. I'll be coming home soon. And where is the place when we've weathered the storm? to escape from the cold, all tattered and worn, and in need of its calm company. It's the sound of your heart as you lay in bed, the soft, steady pounding. It's the tenderest touch as you rest your head. I know you're surrounded by a feeling of home. And where are the walls that protect and guard, with love to sustain us when life gets hard? And it will, sure as winter's chill. And where is a space where we all are meant to explore and express to our heart's content all it feels? It's the shelter that heals. It's the sound of your heart as you lay in bed, the soft, steady pounding. It's the tenderest touch as you rest your head. I know you're surrounded by a feeling of home. It's the sound of your heart as you lay in bed. It's the soft, steady